What's up, guys? Welcome to the first ever episode 23 of the Kind of Funny Gamescast. This is a very special one, guys.
Yeah.
This is the one leading into E3.
Whoa.
Yeah. Now, if you guys don't know, we got the coolest dudes in video games right here. Colin Moriarty, Greg Miller, and Portillo. We're trying out something new.
If you've listened to the Game Over Greggy's show, that would be going up at the same time for Patreon people as this show. You know that we were debating the best way to seat Portillo at the table because I get pushed off the mic when he's in my lap. So we're doing this. But of course, Portillo thinks this means he's getting a bark box.
Oh.
So we got to
You can see him. He's like shaking.
We got to wean him off.
There was another option that I don't know if you considered, and this is a kind of one of those crazy options, which is that maybe the dog doesn't need to be in the room. I know that's one of the crazier
I knew where you were going when you started with it. Yeah. Just keep in mind, he's a pretty popular part of the show.
He is. I'm not saying he isn't. I'm just saying this wasn't the only solution to this problem. In fact, this was maybe the more complicated and unnecessary of all of the
Let's
solutions.
put his bet on the table.
I'm just saying we're trying something out. We're going to see how it is.
Nick sits uncomfortably sometimes, too, on the Game Over Greggy show. Are we just going to, are we going to bring the toilet into the room for Nick? Is he just going to sit on the toilet?
We probably should.
That would be good.
Production would go up for sure.
Oh, look at him.
See?
He's doing
He's just
stuff.
going to, once he understands he's not getting anything,
He's not
he'll
doing
eventually
much.
just go to bed and it'll be fun.
He's doing something, though.
He's old. This is one of his only
The
tricks.
half roll.
the paralysis.
My God.
Look at him.
All right, guys,
Put
so
your
here's the
crotch
deal.
away,
We got
Portillo.
E3 coming up very soon.
Yeah.
This is very exciting. Now, what's interesting about us is, let's get into the rigmarole here. The Kind of Funny Gamescast, the show where we talk about video games. And what we do is we break it up topic by topic every day, Monday through Thursday, over on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. Full episode goes up on Friday. You can get it early. Patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. But what's interesting about this is E3's like 2 weeks out from now. But how we're recording it now, we're going to be making predictions and stuff. And it's going to be a little thrown off because when people are listening to this, no matter when they're listening to it, even if it's early, usually the show isn't as topical. That's my point.
We try to keep it more evergreen.
Yeah, we try to just talk about more general topics. This, I think, we might say some stuff that's going to be a little out of date by the time they
So
hear it.
we're going to make predictions. And you're saying that by the time our prediction on Wednesday posts, maybe news had broken on
exactly.
Tuesday.
So I'm just letting the people know.
Then
Not that it matters because really we're just kind of fucking talking.
For the record, we recorded this on Tuesday, June 2nd, 4:39.
Yeah.
Pacific Daylight Time,
Sure. Yeah.
right?
Is there a difference between daylight and standard?
Yes.
Yes. PDT and PST.
The fuck?
That's why
really?
you say PT. You don't put the...
We're not PST.
Well, sometimes we are.
Half the year you are. Half the year you're PDT. Half the year you're PST. To not do that, you do PT
Good Lord.
Yeah,
because of daylight savings.
It's rigmarole.
I learned some things today.
You did.
Guys. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to have... Normally we have the 4 topics. We'll have the 3 normal topics, and the last topic will be just the random people from the internet giving us... What are you
Can't do
doing?
it. I'm putting the dog on the ground. This shot looks like we have a dead dog. We have like a wake for this dog. I can't do it. I'm sorry. He's like lying in state. he's like Lenin or something. Come on, big guy.
See, the funniest thing, I was giving the whole rigmarole.
I
and
couldn't do
you
it. I
kept
tried
looking
so
over
hard.
at me, smiling, and I was like, why is he smiling?
The microphone doesn't...
No, it's fine.
He wants that bed.
Well, again, he
freaking
thinks
out.
something's happening. He thinks he's getting something.
Portillo,
Oh my God.
it's not all about you all the time.
All right. So
Usually it's about Greg. It's not about you, Portillo.
He's going
He's
for
learning
it.
too much from
He's
you.
going to freaking dive.
That's one.
He's learning too much from you, Greg.
Go fall in the nice soft bed.
All right. So what we're going to do differently this week is instead of... We're going back to the old school Gamescast because that could be a thing at this point. There's been 23 episodes. So doing something more like, I don't know, maybe the 12th episode where we didn't do the mailbag, grab bag topic.
Oh, right. Okay.
So yeah, we're just going to have 4 topics that are our own topics. First topic is going to be Sony. Predictions for their press conference. Second topic will be Microsoft, then Nintendo, then third parties. It's going to be fun. Now, you guys have a little tradition over on this other thing that you used to do.
Yeah, the old podcast we used to do.
Yes,
2 guys and
something.
a girl.
Yeah, that's a good name for it.
Yeah.
What we're going to do is we're going to go a little bit beyond that, and you guys are going to make predictions for what's going to happen at the press conferences.
5 predictions for every press
Yes.
conference.
Now, I have a bunch of I'm not going to necessarily make predictions.
You're the host.
Yeah, I have a bunch of games, and we'll bring them up and see what you guys think of whether or not they'll be there.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have to go to kindoffunny.com/forums and keep track of this for us. Mitchell Morgan, of course, no longer with us. Didn't die, just really focused out in school, so he can't be our bet tracker.
Yeah.
So we're doing the normal predictions here. Colin's gonna have fucking granular as shit predictions so that he can get 0.2 points.
Oh, I play it.
No, yeah.
I don't milk it. I won't.
play the
I
game.
want to win truly.
Yeah.
In fact, you could stop this right now, host, and you could say full points only.
Okay, full points only.
Ah, he's my puppet.
That's not the way. That's not the way the tradition was.
I don't care. There's a
Alright.
new tradition here.
Okay. I guess
My
we
only
should just
prediction is next year will be the year of the Yosh. It's finally happening. All the companies are just going to give in, and they're just going to build a shrine for Yoshi, and all games are going to star Yoshi. All right, so what we're going to do
I like how we're
first,
just getting rid of traditions. By the way, let's get rid of Christmas
Okay.
while we're at it.
before we get into all that, though, I just talking about E3 in general.
Okay.
So today it was announced that Jeff Keighley is going to be hosting YouTube's live stream, YouTube's
Right.
first ever actual. So it's youtube.com/E3.
Nice.
So that's crazy. Those bastards, how'd they get that? Oh, they're YouTube.
Yeah.
So that's really fucking cool. They're going to do a lot of stuff. Rooster Teeth's going to be a part of it. That's exciting. They're going to have a whole bunch of guests and stuff. Maybe we'll be there. Who knows? That's going to be pretty fun. I'm excited for that. There's also a whole bunch of other ways that people can watch. I think there's more live streams going on this year for E3 than there ever has been.
Wow.
So that's exciting. As a, not us, but like for the people that are staying home and not going to be at E3, you're going to be able to see
Well,
all
remember, it's
types of
exciting
stuff.
for us too because we're doing live streams.
Yes.
We're doing pre and post shows for every conference on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames. That includes Bethesda Sunday night,
Yep.
then all Monday, then Tuesday through Thursday we're on GameSpot hosting our show there.
So that's what's going on. The GameSpot's doing it, IGN's doing it, Game Trailers is doing it, Twitch is doing it. Like, there's a lot of stuff happening.
Right.
But what you guys need to know, the most important thing, is that Kind of Funny Games will be streaming pre and post shows for all of the conferences throughout Sunday and Monday. Right? Are we doing Bethesda's too?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
I
cool.
just said that.
There we go. There we go.
Got it.
And then,
Got to put on your listening ears.
yep.
I understand. He's in the rigmarole. I get that way too. I get that way too.
And then, yeah, so then we're going to do GameSpot's thing. And I'm really excited for that because we got some crazy shit planned for that. And I'm excited you guys are going to like it a lot. We're going to talk about video games with a lot of cool people, specifically about some Sony stuff. Let's get into it.
All right, so we're doing predictions right now.
Start with the predictions.
Colin, you begin.
Oh, you want to just do that without even trying to figure out who goes first? All right.
How do you, was that one of the predictions? Is that one of the traditions we used to do?
We used to just at least figure it out.
Well, how do we do it? What do you want to do? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot?
yeah.
1, 2, show?
No. 1, 2, 3 show.
Okay. You like wasting a
ready?
lot of time. 1, 2, 3, show.
Things happen.
At least it was fair.
So I'm firing the first volley from my Sony list. Name changes are a go. They're going to
They're gonna
announce there
announce
that you can finally change your PlayStation
Oh.
Network name.
I like that.
Yeah, I know you do.
You really think it's going to happen?
I don't know. It's a dumb prediction. I have a bunch of other boring predictions that I'm
Okay.
sure Colin and I are going to go. Did you go boring? Did you go off of like research or what did you do?
I just went with my balls.
Okay.
Best way to go.
What's your next one? First one. Whatever. Do you not? Does everybody think that's not going to happen? I think it's.
I don't think that will happen.
I think that's an interesting. I don't know if that's like
Because
an
my
E3
original thing was
worthy-
going to be that firmware 3.0 was go, and they had some fucking shit in there you want. Because they've been working on that, I know.
yeah, I mean,
But this is something you'd want in there.
people do underestimate that is the most requested feature on PlayStation Network, and it has been for years.
Yeah.
So it would be something that I think would be at a press conference, but I don't
Right.
know if they're ready.
I don't either, but I'm putting it out there. And I'm not saying day of. It's just it's time.
It's
Maybe
time.
they give you a date, a window.
The Last Guardian is re-revealed for PlayStation 4.
Uh-huh.
They show a new trailer for it with a release date this fall.
Whoa. Okay, so when you say trailer, are we getting gameplay or is it some CG bullshit?
Probably both.
Okay.
The game's been in development. Sony swears up and down and has for years that the game is in development and being worked on actively at Japan Studio. Now is the time. The game will be shown at E3. And I know I make that prediction a lot.
Yeah. Just every time we do one of these predictions. So again, there's your tradition. Your tradition.
But
of
we're not going to
continuing
break that
Sticking
tradition.
to it.
So The Last Guardian, re-revealed, PlayStation 4. And
Get
it
her,
will be
Portillo.
coming... Really... Go to bed.
We have his
And
bed.
And it will be coming this year. And
That's
therefore, no more gap
Crazy.
on... See, understand that they have nothing to gain by teasing this game again. They have to just show it and release it.
Right.
And so it'll either be at E3 or Gamescom, but I do believe that game's coming out soon.
This year.
Yeah.
I
don't-
think that's the more shocking thing.
They don't gain anything by playing, by playing around with it anymore. Like when it's going to be shown, it's imminent. Because like the game just needs to come out now. But I do believe it's real, and I believe it will come out.
I mean, do you think that's a holiday title though?
Yes, especially with Uncharted out, they need a game, and everyone's looking at this gap, being like, "Well, there's nothing there," and I'm like, "Well, there's certainly going to be something there." So
Sure.
that's what I think it's going to be.
Okay. My next prediction comes from Colin Moriarty, but we're putting it into the official box here of what's happening at E3. Morpheus gets more than 15 minutes of stage time. They're going to sit there and talk about Project Morpheus and try to sell you on Project Morpheus. And it's not going to go well.
That's the wrong way.
I enjoy Colin. I enjoy Colin a lot.
I'm glad somebody does.
Project Morpheus will be discussed for 20 minutes or less.
Well, was it 15 or 20?
I'm saying 20. You can say whatever you want.
Well, no, we had an official thing from the show. I thought it was 15. We settled on. Did you go? Do we go up
I'm
to
going
20?
up to 20.
Okay.
So both of us can possibly be right about this.
Interesting.
Morpheus will be discussed for only 20 minutes or less. The primary reason I think this is because the games cannot be effectively shown. But I think that there will be connectivity with games that you don't expect, as one of my predictions will reveal. But it's hard to show VR on a stage like that, and I think they're smart enough to not do it for very long.
See, I think they're going to have a way to do it. I just think they won't. I mean, it'll just be first-person shooting looking.
I really hope that it like falls in like that 5 minutes to make Colin right and you wrong.
Why?
I don't know. Just because it'll keep it fun. I'll give you some other ones, Greg.
No, you
It'll be
won't.
good.
You never do. You never give me anything. You're a monster.
Our next one's Colin.
Okay. I think the PlayStation Vita will be lowered to that $90 price tag that keeps getting kicked around. That
$90?
$89.99, right? That's
For
what the
a Vita?
rumor's been. Yeah.
No
Thus signifying it's over.
Damn.
I think that's true.
$90.
I think that's real. Yeah.
Sounds like a weird MSRP.
$89.99 is what I was saying. That's the rumor.
That's
That
even
has been a
weirder.
rumor for a while, yeah.
Man, all right.
I'm saying I believe it.
Okay.
It's a legacy system if you didn't hear.
Yes.
I'm not going to identify cost, but I'll say that both PlayStation 4 and Vita get price drops. No real need to drop PlayStation 4's price. This, of course, will affect PlayStation 4 or Sony in negative ways in terms of money lost, $50 per console over millions of consoles. But there's something that tells me it's time. Momentum is not shifting necessarily, but it's balancing out. Xbox One outsold PlayStation 4, for instance, last month. If Sony can do it, even if they drop it to $379 or something like that, that's just a way to get more people in the store and more people interested in it, because obviously Xbox One is cheaper, and you have to play that game eventually. It doesn't make a lot of financial sense. I'm not 100% confident in that prediction, but I think that PlayStation 4 and Vita will both get price cuts. And I would say, if I was going to guess what it would be something like $119.99 for Vita and $349.99 for PS4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd be shocked at a Vita under 100.
I'm just saying that's been the rumor, and I think so. I'm thinking Sony's getting ready to divest in this thing. Mm-hmm. They're just going to be like, whatever. If you're porting your games over to it, great. It's still there. Still has a hardcore following that buys games all the time. Go get them. I think it's not the craziest thing to move the units, get them done with. Mm-hmm. They're not even getting shelf space in Target anymore.
Yeah.
We got problems, guys. Nip it in the bud, Tim.
Okay. It's nipped.
As rumors have suggested, the 1 terabyte PS4 is real. It's confirmed. That is the PS4 that stays at the current price. The 500 one gets a price drop. We
Now-
introduced the old 2 SKU console again.
I don't like this.
No? Well, it's just to
Now,
get you know, an
does it
option.
have a Blu-ray drive?
The 1 terabyte PS4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't have to play the games, wouldn't it?
Well, the rumors, at least some of the rumors I was reading yesterday, were saying that it's the 1 terabyte in whatever schematics or whatever the fuck, it did not have a Blu-ray drive. And it was focused on digital download. And
no
it'd
way.
Be, it'd
No
be
way.
The cheaper
No, they
one.
wouldn't do that. The FCC filing as leaked shows that the numbers of the console, in other words, like the code numbers, are not changed other than 1 digit, which means it's exactly the same, except for the internal workings of
Plus, this goes back to our whole
Yeah, they wouldn't do
GameStop
that.
thing. They can't
Yeah.
go in there and shoot off their mouths.
Yeah.
We can't pull a PSP Go here,
Yeah, exactly.
even though we should, because PSP Go is awesome.
No.
Why wasn't the PSP Go awesome?
Because it has the same goddamn problem the Vita does. It has those little baby buttons.
Those are
Greg.
nice buttons. Those are
No.
good ones. You ever held a PSP
Yes,
Go?
I have.
You sure?
It hurt me. It hurt my soul.
You suck.
I'm really happy I get to be a part of this, guys. Thank you.
Media Molecules game is finally revealed. It will use PlayStation Move and Morpheus if you want to, but you can also play it with a DualShock 4 controller. It will be out in 2016.
I like that one. That's a good one. Lots of variables, of course, so you can get all your fucking 10th of a point garbage shit here.
It's not as bad as it usually is. My predictions.
And the host here has already declared it's one point.
1 point.
1 point. You can only win or lose.
We'll see.
Can't get halves. We'll have whoever new Mitchell Morgan is step up Break it down
I
both
bent
ways.
Mitchell Morgan to my will when he would do the scoring. I made him do it again. Remember?
It's true. You did.
Where I was like, this is bullshit.
See, yeah, I don't. It's a very interesting one you're bringing up, because I'm trying to think of how you would play dumb fucking dancing modeling clay game from Media Molecule without the move. You know what I mean? When they were doing their whole thing, let alone be able to use Morpheus and not have to, because those games are so fucking wrapped up in Morpheus. It seems.
Yeah. My biggest question would be, how would they announce that? It's like, here's this stuff, but also you get to really play it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But if you
that's
don't
kind
like
of
our things we're trying to sell you,
yeah.
No, I think the reason Media Molecule's game took so long and the reason that they ported Tearaway to make money for that studio until they can get the game out is because all of this tech was happening. Presumably Morpheus was shown to them first, because it seems like that's the studio, them in London, that could
do something groundbreaking.
that could do
and
something
cool.
with it proper. So I really do think that they know that they can't tether that game success to Move. They can't tether that game success to Morpheus. But they can work Morpheus and move into it if you want to use it, but otherwise it's a game you can play without it using this DualShock 4. I think that is probably the reason why the game has taken so long. Because Media Molecule has been quiet for a very long time. They haven't put out... Understand their core team has not put out a game since 2011. So they've released Tearaway, but that team was about 12 to 15 people. Porting that game probably wasn't even done internally to PS4. So you have to assume that one team...
But keep in mind that
is
like
doing
this is where we
something.
always get into the gray area. We start getting yelled at. It's not a port. It's a build up from the ground of the original reimagining.
It seems like a really huge waste of time for a first party studio to do
very
that.
true. Fuck Tearaway and its stupid ass.
It's not that I have a problem. I mean, I think Tearaway is whatever
Garbage.
it is, but
Yeah.
it's not garbage. But
It's fucking waste of time.
it's weird. It's a Media Molecule game,
Yeah, I know.
and they're weird. They're just weird
They're weird.
in a good way. They're just
No,
a
I
fucking
know.
really
I
weird
love
studio.
them. I didn't like that game,
Yeah,
but
Siobhan, I love Siobhan. She's the head of the studio. I went out to dinner with her once in Germany. Very interesting woman. But
did she make papercraft for you in front of you?
no, but they gave me a bunch of papercraft stuff like Tearaway stuff.
Nice.
But I think that Morpheus is the reason why this game is delayed.
Interesting.
And my hope is that
But you think it's optional?
I hope so, because that would be the end of Media Molecule if they put that thing only on Morpheus. That game, because it's just going to limit its sales, and no one game is going to make someone buy Morpheus. It's about making an ecosystem of options for people. So I do think
But I mean, that's the whole thing of what I still just don't believe in Morpheus and don't trust in. And they can't do that. They can't give you the out, because if they give you the out, they don't buy the Morpheus, and then it's
Yeah.
just over and over and over again. Not to mention it's going to be like Resistance, where it's going to be like, oh, the Resistance, the move game. And it's like, no, it's not. It's not a move game. That's an option. But they marketed it all wrong.
we'll see.
I think I wouldn't be surprised if most of what you just said was true, except it's Morpheus locked. You need Morpheus for it.
Yeah, that would be such a waste. I mean, I
But I mean,
understand,
like,
I understand
it's
what you're
already-
saying. It's true.
but
London's
that's-
doing the same thing, though.
Yeah, it's
They're already
locked.
making
It's
first party.
locked to the move, which is another dead technology. That's God.
I'm just saying Move because it seemed like they already had worked out that tech.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if they still sell or even manufacture Move anymore. My assumption is that they probably do. In some capacity,
question. Yeah,
sell it
yeah.
at least. They probably have a fucking whole warehouse of that shit that no one wanted. But they seem to have worked something out in 2013 with Move. I mean, it was clear. And Move clearly works with PlayStation 4. So
Yeah.
based on that demo that they gave and based on the camera and all that kind
the
of stuff.
Morpheus game and demos too, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like you need Move with some of these Morpheus games, so presumably it's still being manufactured, presumably it's still being made. I understand what you're saying, and what you're saying makes sense and is smart and is the likely choice, but I just feel like making a first party studio that hasn't put out a game in 4 years, a real game, and I'm not saying Tearaway's not a real game, I'm just saying that's the core of that studio didn't make it. So it's like you're gonna strand that game on Morpheus?
Yeah.
What do you even have the studio for then? You know, so
hear you.
I think it's got to be the best of both worlds. I know it's weird because I think Sony London is the studio that's making all of these other games. Plus, they have their new studio that's making Morpheus games too. So they have at least 2.5 studios working on Morpheus stuff, right? Something will come out of Japan studio. Presumably, my assumption is that Polyphony is probably going to have significant Morpheus interaction with Gran Turismo. So it's not like there's like all sorts of shit that's not happening behind the scenes. Presumably there is. You know,
Sure.
and studios like Naughty Dog and Sucker Punch are not going to make Morpheus games. So.
Sounds like they have more than 15 minutes of shit about Morpheus to talk about. Final prediction for Sony. At the end of the Uncharted demo, we get a 2016 date, like the full date. What blank 2016.
What is it? No balls?
You want me to go balls? You want me to give you like a date?
Damn.
Hold on.
No, you don't have to give me a date.
Now-
Be good. Do it. Follow your heart. You're not ready. It's okay.
I'll give you. Are you giving a date?
I'm not giving a date on anything. I was asking you to give a date.
I'll give a date.
You
okay.
fall for the trap since everything's 1 point.
Damn.
I'm looking through on what Tuesday looks good to
Ooh,
me.
if you're picking a Tuesday, you're already doing it wrong.
What Tuesday? You think it's gonna be a Friday?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do it then. 'Cause now you've angered me.
Why do you think it's a Friday?
Because when they
Big
release games
releases.
worldwide, big first party games Sony does on Fridays. The Uncharted collection will be revealed. It will include all 3 Uncharted games and the Golden Abyss on PlayStation 4.
Ooh.
It will come out in October.
I like that.
And it's being done by Blue Point, if you want to get into
Oh, well,
yeah.
what a surprise.
I'm going to throw that out there a little bit. Blue Point Games working on Uncharted collection, which is 4 games. You want to throw Fight for Fortune in there for fun?
No,
Fine.
no, I don't.
October 2015, PlayStation 4 exclusive. That's my final prediction for PlayStation.
Okay.
Sounds like you guys know this PlayStation stuff pretty well.
What do you think, Tim? Do you have any predictions?
Well, so it's not so much predictions, but just questions for you guys. Ratchet and Clank, what will be shown?
That's a good point,
question, yeah.
but it's already. I don't know. They'll probably show it, but there's nothing to really say about it because we already know it's delayed, and Insomniac's working on it. And when Drew Murray was on our GDC stream, he's like, "It looks Pixar quality." I believe it. Insomniac's very talented.
Yeah, they'll show a trailer.
So I think they'll
for it.
show it. Yeah, I don't know if they'll have a date or anything else to say about it, but yeah,
Persona 5, will it be at Sony's conference?
I think it will be. I think it will
but
be.
it's possible. I don't know. I don't know that as popular as that game is. I'm not sure that even Sony realizes that that's something they should talk about here.
I think they do. I think they've seen it with Persona 4. I think they've seen it with the way everybody acts and talks about Persona now. I think they will.
I mean, that is a pure exclusive, so it's not going to be on Xbox or PC. So it's a PS3 and PS4 game. So it would make sense for them to play it up, but I don't know. I don't know if you give stage time to it. So
I think you have the hot new trailer.
we'll see. It seems my assumption is that A, that game's not coming out this year, and B,
Yep.
they're not going to even show anything until TGS. I mean, that's
interesting.
Yeah, they don't. That's another game. It's not Fallout, but it's a game where you don't really need to do anything.
Yeah, true.
You know, people are engaged.
So speaking of exclusives, Street Fighter 5, do you think they'll have a new trailer or something?
Sadly, yeah.
Maybe. That's a good point. Maybe. I don't know though. You get the Evo crowd involved. Evo is very mad. The Evo crowd, the fighting community is very mad right now about Ultra Street Fighter 4 on PS4, which is not very good apparently. Even though we played it, I didn't notice anything wrong with it. But
We're not experts online doing all this
certainly
different
noticed
stuff,
it. So maybe you throw them a bone. Sony is funding that game, helping to fund that game. So yeah, possible.
Now, God of War, do we see anything?
I think you'll see God of War 3, the HD re-release.
Yeah.
I don't think they're ready to show the new game that they're working on yet.
Not
whatever
even a
it is.
teaser.
No, because remember that they were going to presume, like according to many rumors and whatever, that they were ready to show the game that they canceled last year. So, the space game, presumably by the guy that wrote Battlestar Galactica. So, I don't know that they're geared up and ready to show anything yet. You have to assume that whatever the new God of War game is probably not anywhere near being ready. So, maybe 2017. So that's a game you'd show.
Next E3.
Yeah, and the reason Santa Monica can get away with that is because they're such an internal incubator of games. So that studio exists as an XDev studio, not quite as strong as what they do in Europe, but Sound Shapes came out of there, and everybody who's gone to the Rapture is being co-produced by people like Deb Mars and stuff like that. So Zach Wood is there, and all these guys that work on a lot of these games, so Hokum and all that stuff. So they and obviously they're also internally incubating. Edith Finch, which I think we will see.
I was gonna say, how much do you think do we get of that? Do we get like one of those hot indie teaser trailer things? Do you think it's Adam Boy's out there with like 4 or 5 things behind him?
Yeah, I think they're funding that game, so I think that, and that's one of their teams. So I think that they give more than just a
Past story.
because remember they did a similar thing last year for that game Entwined.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
No,
and that game
that
game was really quite disappointing.
That's something I didn't reflect on. Oh, I did actually forget it.
It was an interesting game. It was a fun game. It just controlled pretty poorly at some point. Like there was I remember having a very specific issue with that game, but which you can read about in my review on IGN probably. But if they gave Entwine that kind of time, then certainly they're gonna give Edith Finch that kind of time. So I think that you'll see it there, but I don't think it's a big surprise. And I wonder if that game's ready this year. Edith Finch came out, or Swan came out in 2012, so. It took them a long time to make that game, though. That game was delayed for a long time.
Yeah.
It was like over a year late. So, who knows? They're artists, so those guys are.
Don't rush it.
Yeah. Oh, well, but Giant Sparrow specifically seems like a group of like just it's ready when it's ready.
Yeah.
Kind of guys, and they seem to get away with it.
All right, guys. Moving on to Microsoft. Hit me up with some of them nasty predictions.
You can lead.
You want me to go first?
Let's get some
See
Colin
what
action
wrong
going on.
ass bullshit you got this time.
Microsoft will spend a significant time talking about Minecraft.
Ooh.
I think that there's going to be some sort of big, meaty announcement for it, whether it's an update of some sort that is Xbox One and PC exclusive, something to justify the purchase of Mojang and the $2.5 or $3 billion they spent on the company. Obviously, Minecraft 2 is the big thing that they're certainly investing in. I don't think it's time or it's not the place or time to announce that yet. There's no reason to rush that game out. But I think there's something to be said about Minecraft, and that's a powerful game to talk about at your conference to get eyes on your conference.
Yep.
And I wouldn't even be surprised if that was teased before the conference to get people that are just Minecraft fans engaged in the Xbox community, since they're now all one. Since we're not going to obviously see Minecraft 2 probably on PlayStation, for instance. So I would expect them to talk about Minecraft, talk about Mojang, and either, talk about maybe future project, but more likely talk about how they're going to support Minecraft going forward on Xbox and on PC.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Do you think that Minecraft, the story mode, is going to be a big part of that?
No. The Telltale game?
Yep.
No.
Do you think they'll show it at Microsoft's conference?
No. I don't think that game's ready for prime time just yet. That's a Telltale thing. They got a lot of other stuff to get through. A lot of other games.
You'll hear about it a week before it comes out. As usual.
Exactly. Yeah. No. All right. There'll be some reveal and then it'll pop up. Yeah. All right. Hey guys, you know that Halo 5? We're gonna do another beta, and it starts right now. That's what they'll do.
That's exactly
Halo
what
5
they'll
beta
do.
starting right there, right that day. That's them turning on the servers and the information flooding out to everybody. And everybody goes, and Fredo goes, why am I here? I'm so beautiful. I'm Alfredo Diaz.
Classic Fredo, yeah.
With the announcement of Windows 10's release date in July, they'll go into Windows 10's functionality with Xbox One, which I assume is going to be somewhat imminent because Windows 10's entire thing is that it runs on everything, all your devices.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be seamless. So I think that Windows 10 will somehow function with Xbox One in some way, and they will show you how that's going to happen at the conference with the release date in July, obviously.
Going back to the Halo, because I thought you were jumping off of that. Do you think
no,
we'll
I
get
don't have anything to say
the
about Halo.
release date?
For Halo? It's already out, isn't it?
Did we say for Halo?
October 27th?
Yeah, I thought Halo.
October
Shit, man,
27th.
I've been out of it.
Yeah,
It-
October
it might be.
27th.
Damn. All right. True shit. Man, October.
Don't worry about it.
All right.
Don't worry.
There you go.
Fredo's on it.
Yeah. He's in line right now. Okay.
Okay.
Next up.
They end with one more thing trailer. It's Battletoads.
Okay.
It's a teaser, maybe not a full blown trailer, but you're getting some Battletoads up there.
Quantum Break was delayed. Remedy's game, as
Correct.
we know.
Correct.
It gets a release date of very early 2016, probably February 2016.
Okay.
Xbox One exclusive. And they'll probably talk about the TV show too.
Well, that's on the disc or whatever. That's part of the game.
Yeah, but like how it's
They're actually going to detail how it goes into.
Yeah.
That's nice. Cliff Bleszinski comes out, announces that Blue Streak is a console exclusive to Xbox One.
I like that.
I like that one.
That's a gutsy one.
Yeah, I know. You got to swing for the fences sometimes. My other ones are boring.
Lionhead's been quiet for a while, so their new game will be revealed. And as they've talked about, I think they talked about last December, it is not Fable related at all. Obviously, Fable Legends is being made by another studio, so
Did that game ever come out?
I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
I don't think so. Or maybe it has. I don't mean.
I'm checking. I'm on it.
So Lionhead will announce their new game. There's not going to be scant details about it. They'll have a logo and maybe a little bit of a CG trailer. The game is nowhere near being completed yet. But
Fable Legends hasn't come out.
no. But yeah. So Lionhead will be there. It's time to roll out some of these first parties.
Okay.
How do you feel about the Battletoads?
It seems like a feint to me. Phil Spencer was wearing a Battletoads shirt some months ago at a conference, but I think that was more in reference to Battletoads inclusion in Shovel Knight than it was about Battletoads game being made again. Because as much as I think that would be interesting, nothing is more irrelevant to a 16-year-old or a 20-year-old today than Battletoads. There's literally nothing more irrelevant. So, like, I as much as I'd like to see that, it's just like it doesn't seem like we have to look at things through the lens of how Microsoft's conducting its business right now. This was the same thing we were talking about with Silent Hills, this totally ridiculous Silent Hills rumor. on Colin and Greg, where I was like, my problem with that rumor isn't that they're talking in Konami, because maybe they are, and it's possible that they took PT off of PlayStation Network as a sign of good faith. It's that they're spending billions of dollars on a series where they just spent $2.5 billion on Minecraft. I mean, there's not going to spend billions of dollars on Silent Hills. You have to look at it through the lens of the fact that Phantom Dust was rebooted and then canceled, and that studio shut down because they wanted $5 million to finish the game. They needed $5 million. So risking money on something like Battletoads, especially if Rare is going to make it, which is one of their internal studios, is a huge mistake, in my opinion, because it's like it seems like they want to maximize their dollars, and you maximize your dollars by making something more relevant. I would be shocked if they made Battletoads.
But they did Killer Instinct.
They did do Killer Instinct, but Killer Instinct to me makes way more sense, and it wasn't done internally. So it's like, to me, you have to use your resources to do things that make sense. Right?
Sure.
Because Killer Instinct, wasn't that made by the guys that
Iron Galaxy.
So it's like, if you want to find a studio outside to do it, maybe that makes more sense. Maybe it's just a traditional side-scrolling kind of Shovel Knight-like game that's going to cost a few $1 million to make, but if it's Rare doing a game and reviving something, it's got to be something like Banjo-Kazooie, or Jet Force Gemini or something like that. It's got to be something.
Jet Force is more relevant
or
than
Perfect Dark.
Battletoads?
Something that has substance, that is more recent. Mm-hmm. Remember, the last Battletoads game is way older than Jet Force Gemini. So you have to have some touchstone that that makes a little more sense to someone, and something like Battletoads transcended away from NES and SNES, but at the end of the day, that's kind of where it stopped.
Yeah, but I feel like Battletoads has something about it that's special just based on what it's called, because people are always going to kind of compare it to the Ninja Turtles. So it's like, even if it's not relevant, you know what Battletoads is just by hearing it. Then you see it and you're like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? I feel like even kids these days, even if they don't know what Battletoads is, they'll think of it and it's like, oh, it's cool and retro. Even if they never grew up with it, like there's a special place in their heart for it just by default.
Maybe. But I think it's way more likely you see Perfect Dark or Banjo-Kazooie out of that studio, but maybe it's not contingent on that studio making it. I mean, they can do whatever they want with that IP.
I'd be excited for any of those three.
But
I'd just love to see it come back.
Yeah, Battletoads, I mean, it would be nice. I just feel like that's so obvious, that shirt. It seemed deeper to me until Shovel Knight came out. And then I was like, well, they're in Shovel Knight. That's got to be the relation to that shirt. Phil Spencer's a shrewd kind of guy. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I mean, that's interesting, though, that they're in Shovel Knight. Why are they in Shovel Knight?
Because I think that as far as I understand, I knew that Shovel Knight was coming to PlayStation for a long time. And I talked to Yacht Club several times about the fact that they were including a special character and they were trying to figure it out. It seemed like it was up to them. So I think that they just chose Kratos because that made sense to them, and they chose Battletoads because that's what they wanted to do. And the Battletoads functionality in Shovel Knight is fucking awesome. I don't know if you saw the stages.
I saw the video. I didn't play it.
Way cooler than Kratos. And
Kratos was pretty cool, though.
It was cool, but Battletoads was way cooler. Both of them were good, but I was really impressed with the watching that video for Battletoads. It's a throwback to that fucking that NES game. Oh, that NES game. That son of a bitch NES game.
Dark Souls 3 is shown. Exclusive content for Xbox.
Exclusive content. Okay.
Right. You ever heard of it?
Oh, I've heard of it.
Yeah.
I heard of it.
Microsoft likes to do that sometimes.
Was that your fifth guess or your fourth
That
guess?
was my fourth.
So this will be my fifth.
Yes.
Twisted Pixel's been quiet for a long time.
Oh, they have been.
Twisted Pixel's owned by Microsoft. They made Loco Cycle. That was their last game. And they have a tendency to not do the same thing twice, with the exception of Splosion Man and Miss Splosion Man. They typically make a new kind of a game. So my assumption is that, I think they did Gunslinger, right? Which was that Kinect game?
Yeah. The Spaghetti Western Kinect game.
So they'll come out on stage and reveal their new Xbox One game, and they've been quiet for so long that I think that game will be ready this year. It'll be an Xbox One exclusive.
Have they been quiet that long, you think?
2013 was when Loco Cycle came out.
That was, it was a launch game for Xbox One, wasn't it? It was the first game I played on Xbox One. It just doesn't feel like the Xbox One's been out long enough.
Yeah, they've been quiet. They've been quiet long enough where I think it'll be 2 years by the time the game comes out. You don't invest in a studio that's not making games. So I think that they'll come out on stage and have something to say about their new game, and I think it'll be ready by the end of the year. And much like maybe Ori or State of Decay, it'll be on PC as well.
Yeah.
But they don't really talk about those kinds of things with these games. They kind of pretend that those things don't exist, which is the same thing Sony will probably do with Street Fighter. So yeah, I think these aren't quite as sexy of predictions as they are at Sony, but Microsoft frankly has less to choose from. In other words, their studios family is much smaller and much less glamorous, I think, in terms of name. They don't have a Naughty Dog or a Sucker Punch or a Sony Santa Monica. They have 343 and Black Tusk, and we know what they're doing already. So 343 is a great studio. Black Tusk is a great studio, very talented studio. But we know Black Tusk is working on Gears. We know 343 is busy with Halo. So there's when I was looking, I was like, am I forgetting anything? I was looking before, and I'm like, no, I'm looking at their list of studios, and I'm like, we kind of know what most of these guys are doing, with the exception of these few studios. So these are the guys that you have to kind of identify. That's what makes Microsoft's conference in a way more exciting, because their surprises are really going to be left field surprises, I think, as opposed to Sony, where you're like, well, it's got to come from one of these guys over here.
Sure. Okay. My final prediction for Xbox is Undead Labs comes out, reveals their teaser trailer, their first look at their new game, back to being more zombies, because they have the Moonrise game too. Zombies, but it's multiplayer. State of Decay multiplayer, pretty much, you'd think of it. Now, that's not what it's called, obviously.
Yeah.
Different thing happening here, but that's
Undead Labs already, they just released a game.
Yeah,
So
but it's just that was the up-res, right, with all their HD content and stuff like that. And I don't think that they're ready. I don't think it's ready. Like, we're shipping it tomorrow, but I think it's going to be like, hey, this is what we've been doing. We're glad, because it's such an easy lead-in, right? Of like Phil Spencer. A lot of you probably played State of Decay 1 year later, Survival Edition, sold X amount so much that brings life-to-date totals for the entire State of Decay franchise to this. Let's see what they've been up to, what their next thing is.
Yeah. You're good at this. You've seen a couple press conferences.
Well, I'm good at just bullshitting. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
They don't usually do what I say.
So,
where
questions
the
for you
fuck's
guys.
Patapon?
Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
What do we see? A demo?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Release date?
Definitely. Yes. Is there not a release date for that? That's this year.
I don't know.
No, there's no.
No,
release
but,
not
date.
good
but,
with
but it
release
is
dates.
confirmed this year. So yes, I think that'll be a prominent part of the conference.
Do you think I would imagine it opens?
It opens with that?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. They open with Call of Duty.
Oh, but didn't they finally break away from that?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think so. But maybe, I don't really remember.
Google's saying December 2015, but that could easily be placeholder.
There's no way that game's coming out in December. It'll come out in like November or October.
So
Or
it's Gears
British.
remastered. Mm-hmm. We'll see that.
Yep. And that's what I'm saying. We know what Black Tusk is
Yeah.
doing, right?
But
Like,
Gears 4? Do we see some CG shit?
maybe it's time to talk about Gears 4. It's unclear to me. It's unclear to me like where in development they are with that game. I don't quite understand. I'm not quite as tuned into Gears, even though I like that series. It might be time, but you have to assume that there's a motive to release Gears HD or Gears HD. And maybe that's it. I'd be less surprised if they were like, we're doing the same thing to 2 and 3 that we're doing to 1, and we lied. Because they basically were like, we're not doing a Gears trilogy, we're doing the first one. And so there'll be Gears talk, but I don't know if it's time for Gears 4. There's no reason for it, because they have to have an appearance at Gamescom, and they're going to have a lot of announcements there. Phil Spencer said that their announcements at Gamescom will be as many as at E3. They're going to have a pretty equivalent presence there. So you have to save something. Mm-hmm. And with Tomb Raider this fall and with Halo this fall, especially with Halo this fall, there's no reason to muddle the message, and say like, well, our second biggest franchise is also like, who cares? Like, let Halo come out and breathe, and then you talk about Gears. And then 343 goes back and makes Halo 6, while Gears is ramping.
Yep.
And then you're going to go back and forth between those two.
Awesome. So, moving on to my personal favorite, Nintendo.
I think these are my best predictions.
Greg, you can go first.
Thank you very much. Tim, are you taking notes, by the way?
Yes, I am.
All
That's
right,
what I'm doing
just
right now.
Just making sure. My Nintendo predictions begin with the announcement that Nintendo has made up with Amazon.com. And Nintendo products will be sold on Amazon.com normally and not all fucked up through third-party sellers, and everything's going to be okay.
You're dreaming, buddy.
What? I don't really know anything about this. Can you explain this to me?
Sure, if you've never tried to order something Nintendo-related off Amazon, you cannot.
Why?
Because they don't get along.
Why?
I don't know if there's ever been
I
a
don't know
historical
the
reason.
How
context
to
behind
long
it.
has this happened?
It's been going on since probably the late Wii era.
I kind of vaguely remember this.
I'm going to look it up for you.
Okay.
It's an issue.
My first Nintendo prediction is that Star Fox opens the show is fully... Well, they're going to do a Nintendo Direct, but we're going to just refer to it as a conference. Star Fox is the first thing shown. They show it in an intensive look at it, and it's dated for this fall.
I'm so excited.
They have to get that game out. That game is basically the only thing between it and Zelda of any consequence. And I don't mean that as a disrespectful thing, because I'm most excited about Mario Maker, but the fact of the matter is, unless they have a big, meaty first-party announcement, which they don't, because if they're smart, they're moving all their resources to their next console, Star Fox is too far along to move. And so I think that that is a safe assumption.
I'm so excited for that. That might be the thing that I'm looking forward to most. Is I just want to see it, and like that's one of those games that I want to see a gameplay trailer for it, and I'll instantly know whether it's what I want or if it's not. And I'm very worried it's not going to be what I want.
We'll see.
I don't want to see no on foot bullshit.
No on foot bullshit.
I like that. I like the on foot stuff in Star Fox Adventure, personally, on GameCube.
Okay, no, but Assault.
Was that
Did
the
you play
second one?
Assault? The one where it was like not majority. It was about a third flying.
Oh, so you're
third on
saying
foot.
I see what you're saying. So a mixture, kind of like the Star Wars game on N64, where you were in a ship and then you were
Rogue.
And it-
No,
God,
no,
it was a
no.
disaster.
Rogue. We're getting
can
muddled
picture
now.
it.
I'm talking
Yeah,
about
yeah.
the Shadows of the Empire game.
Okay. My apologies. First reference to Nintendo and Amazon's Rift comes from our good friend Jason Schreier over at Kotaku on September 19th, 2012. That, yeah, they stopped selling the 3DS new and all this stuff and all these weird emails. He's got no straight answer as to what happened.
Okay, interesting. Amazon doesn't give a fuck, clearly. So
Yeah. But they will. And they're all going to be happy. And it's going to be good again because then you can order what you want. My next prediction for Nintendo, Nintendogs returns.
Okay,
Thank you.
That's interesting. I mean, they would.
They would. And they will.
my second prediction is that Wii U gets a significant price drop to the tune of maybe 40%.
Damn.
My God.
Wii U is dying.
Yeah.
And there's no reason for them to not drop the price significantly. So this isn't going to be a token like, oh, well, $50 off. Like, no, like maybe 100 plus, if more, off of the price of Wii U.
My Lord.
Wii U is not even at 10 million units sold after, 2.5 years? So it's over. And so it's time to, it's like we were talking about the Vita, it might be time to just bite the bullet and get these things out and just empty your warehouses in anticipation of Star Fox and Zelda and all these Mario Maker and all these other games that people are interested in. So I think that Wii U gets a significant price drop.
Zelda Wii U gets a release date of summer 2016.
On Wii U.
Yep.
Fair enough. I can see that happening.
They spend a significant amount of time showing multiple Smash Brothers DLC characters. Amongst them will be the Ice Climbers.
Yeah, Colin's heavy.
See, I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with Smash because I'm assuming we'll see Lucas a little bit, like actually see him like gameplay and stuff, and then like more than we saw in the last Direct. What new characters they'll announce? That's what I'm most interested in. Ice Climbers, I think that's a safe assumption that like there's a good chance it'll be there. I'm really more interested in seeing something like either a new character, like a fully new character that hasn't been in Smash, because I don't want to see them just continuously go down this path of, something like that would be awesome. But I can see them just kind of like putting out the remaining characters that haven't been brought back, which is fine. I want that to happen too, but I don't like that Lucas is and like it was Mewtwo and then Lucas. It's like I want those to be like alongside something new,
Dry Bones.
And I feel like I don't know about Dry Bones, but somebody.
Chain Chomp.
Like, give me someone new. Like I don't know, like a Fire Emblem character, Like,
like
I feel
another
like
Fire
a
Emblem
new
character.
Fire Emblem
Oh,
character would be
definitely.
great.
That's what we really have all been
That's what we
clamoring
definitely need.
for.
Now, there's an issue, of course, a technical issue with Ice Climbers was that the rumor was, and I don't think it was a rumor, I think they confirmed it, is that the reason the Ice Climbers weren't in the game to begin with was because they couldn't make it run on 3DS specifically.
Yeah.
So there must be, for this to be true, there must be some sort of technical hurdle to overcome, or you start segmenting the games. And I don't know if that's something
They're
they
not gonna
necessarily
do
want to do. So there must be some sort of technical hurdle overcome to include the Ice Climbers. And it might be something like you never had full control over both of them at the same time. Like they were kind of just complementary characters. You could knock one out and the other stays. But maybe it's a way of like really dummying one of the characters and they're just there. And that's kind of the way.
No.
Because otherwise I don't necessarily know that Nintendo and Namco can do that. But I want them to because those are my characters. But I become so accustomed to playing as day-to-day. I don't really
It
give
just
a
doesn't
fuck at
even
this
matter
point.
anymore. Yeah. What I
found
really
perfection.
want to happen, I don't think this will happen, but it's a prediction that I'm just going to make, is I want a really nice, robust Smash Bros. DLC thing. Like, kind of like
New
what they did
stages,
with
new
Mario
characters.
Kart. But yeah, like, I want a big step forward. Because I liked what they did with Mewtwo when they first announced him, like, before the game even came out. And, like, there was that one Miiverse stage or whatever. Like, I liked that was at least the hope that there will be DLC. And the fact that at the last Direct, they showed Lucas, it's like, okay, there's going to be more DLC. And when Mario Kart, they announced Pack 1, Pack 2. So we knew that there was going to be an end to it, and that was going to be it, and there's going to be these 2 packages. With this, we don't know where the end is, and it's a little bit like they're just giving us crumbs, which I'm hoping leads us to a nice, bigger like plate of something good, like a real nice. You're going to get 3 new characters, bunch of new stages. I don't know, something, and that'd be. I like that. I like that a lot.
You like that? You like that?
Mm-hmm.
It's your turn, isn't it?
I believe so. No mention of NX.
Oh, you stole mine. That was gonna be mine too. I'll come up with a different one.
No, count them together.
No, that's fine. In the meantime, well, that was gonna be my 5th guess.
Okay.
My 4th one is that we will see DNA's games for the first time.
Ooh.
I think that they're not going to be ready yet. They'll probably start releasing them obviously this fall, I think is what they said. But I think that you're going to see some of the games and like identify maybe 3 to 5 of them. Obviously, Mario's going to be involved. All these kinds of other core IP. And you're going to kind of see the nature of the game and kind of trying to downplay some of the more casual fears that are surrounding DNA's
That's
involvement with Nintendo. So I think that now is the time because this is a Japanese-centric move, but ultimately for growth, they need to show these games to the West and start acclimating them earlier because the Japanese market is already acclimated to these games, or these style games, and certainly DNA-style games since they're such a big Japanese developer. So I think we'll see DNA's games, and I think that it's going to be somewhat prominent. Like I don't think it's going to be like a passing thing. DNA, remember, owns 1/10 of Nintendo now, so they have a little bit of pull and like what is going to be shown and what's not going to be shown in these Nintendo Directs, and it wouldn't be surprising to me to see that. Yeah.
We close out on your next main Mario game. A tease for it, spiritual successor, whatever you want. I'm saying like the evolution of Galaxy or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming to the Wii U, is what they'll say. It will eventually come to the NX as well. Not because they won't say that. I'm just saying it's going to be announced for Wii U. They're going to make it a Wii U game. This is a Wii U thing, but it's going to be in your Twilight Princess.
I love this. Like, what excites me as a Nintendo fan is you guys making these predictions and hearing it. I got excited multiple times, and I like that. If I get even half of those moments actually during the Direct, I even think it's a successful E3 for Nintendo. I think they're in a really good position right now to make the people that like them happy. And I think that's all that really matters at the end of the day. Because the people that don't like them, they're not going to like them. They're never going to win them over again. And it's just like it's a dead thing. But like, I like the fact that you guys just mentioned a bunch of stuff that got me excited. And I have a whole bunch of list of other things that I think they're going to do that are at this point a little obvious. But
Wii Music too.
No.
Do I have one more, right?
Yeah.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Go for it. Go for it.
More.
You had to make it up though on the spot.
I am going to make it up. They tease, and they do it in an ambiguous sort of way because it's not going to be a Wii U game. But what you're going to see is the first tease of an NX game without saying it. So it's like going to be a Watch Dogs type situation, and it's going to be retro and Metroid.
Good Lord.
And
this sounds like an awesome E3.
Yeah, so I think that it's time they move retro away from Donkey Kong. Everyone's fucking tired of seeing them waste their time on this shit, and they want a real Metroid game.
They do.
And Team Ninja is not the one who's able to deliver it, right? They didn't deliver the goods. Retro delivers the goods, and so I think that it's going to be Metroid Prime, and they're just going to it's just going to have a Metroid Prime logo, no name, nothing like that, no indication that's the 4th one. It might be a reboot, but you'll see Retro's logo. You'll see Metroid Prime, and there'll just be an ambiguous mention of that. And because it's a Nintendo Direct, and they're not necessarily exposing themselves to journalists, and Nintendo obviously will have a presence at E3, a strong presence, but you assume that interview opportunities are going to be somewhat scarce with big outlets. You're not exposing yourself to a barrage of questions. They can then retreat back to their offices in Kyoto and go about their business without really being exposed as, say, Sony or Microsoft would be by revealing a game with an ambiguous kind of nature. So I think that would be my 5th guess.
Excellent.
Love it. Love that so much. I'm going to assume we're getting a lot of release dates. The last couple of years, it's been a lot of putting games out there and then seeing them freaking over and over and over and over. We're going to get Xenoblade Chronicles X release date. We're going to get the U.S. release dates is what I'm talking about. Yoshi's Woolly World. Finally, we'll get it. It's coming out very soon, the Yosh. We're getting it very soon in Japan, but I want it now.
When's that amiibo coming out?
Whenever this game comes out.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're waiting for. It's like it's coming out in Europe, too, before here. And it's like, man.
We speak English. We could import it.
I might need to do that. This is definitely like an English, like I don't think I could get through this game in Japanese.
Sure,
That'd be a little too hard.
Konnichiwa.
Mario Maker. Release date.
Yeah, finally.
I am authentically excited about Mario Maker.
I'm excited about Mario Maker, and I'm really excited about Woolly World. Like this, I think might be the first good Yoshi game in a long goddamn time. Fire Emblem, probably getting a release date. I'm excited about that.
Okay.
I think it's going to be later than I want it to be, though. Fire Emblem Cross Shin Megami Tensei. I'll be interested if we see it. We might see a little bit more.
I was
but
shocked that game was still in development when they basically showed
Yeah.
it a few months ago. I thought for sure, like on my list in my mind, like that game's been canceled. You know?
yeah, it definitely felt that way.
Yeah.
And seeing it was weird too, and it sucks because it was the wrong half for me. Like I wanted more Fire Emblem, and they gave me more friggin' Shin Megami. But whatever. I'm interested in seeing more of that because there obviously has to be some Fire Emblem in it for them to put that, especially first in the name.
Right.
Like watching that trailer, I'm a pretty big Fire Emblem guy, and I was like, I can't find the Fire Emblem, not only gameplay, but also like these characters. Like, I don't even know what the fuck's happening.
Sure.
They have blue hair, so that's good. Then there's just a lot of like other questions of like, you brought up Metroid, the 3D Mario. It's like, will we get those? I feel like Nintendo's always easy to kind of make predictions of surprises because it's like you can always just throw shit out there. F-Zero, will we see one? No. Probably not. But people are going to bring it up.
Nintendo dogs for sure.
People are going to bring up like Animal Crossing. There's rumors of a Wii U one. I think there's actually a chance at that. Like they'll just like bring it up and it'll be a smaller title, but like
Yeah, I think they should stop while they're ahead.
but they're not
Personally.
You know what I mean?
I
They're
like
gonna-
it's just you have to manage your resources at some point, and they're not stupid. They have to be like, well, why are we even putting
How'd the
anything?
DS
Why are
one
we even
sell?
putting anything on Wii U?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, like why are we putting anything on Wii U? I do think Zelda will be a Wii U game, but I think because I feel like they have to do that. But
for the people.
yeah, and I don't think it's gonna be a cross-platform thing either. I think that's gonna be like it's that's it.
Final thing.
Like that's it. Yeah.
Now, a big question for me is the 3DS. Like what it gets, what's announced for it, and if it's just going to be a bunch of like, we'll probably get like one trailer that just shows a bunch of like third-party games and stuff like that. But like, I wonder if we're actually going to get anything core. Pokemon Z, if it's actually going to happen.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they announced that. But besides that, the big question for me is remasters. Is there going to be more on Wii U?
Wind Waker was wildly successful, so they'd be smart to do it. But again, it's a resource management thing. It's like, are people playing their Wii U's? Are they as engaged with their Wii U now as they were when Wind Waker came out? I don't know. Like, does it make sense for them to eat it now so they have a robust library later on whatever their new console or handle's going to be? And I think that you have to just start. They know internally what they're going to do, so they have to just start veering away a little bit. Star Fox is too far along. Zelda's kind of been promised to that Wii U audience, but other than that, I don't think you're committed to anything.
The way I see it, though, looking at this, man, there's like a nice trickle of games coming out, though. Like, none of them are the huge Zelda. I mean, there is Zelda. Like, eventually Zelda will be there, but like the Xenoblades, Woolly World, Mario Maker, like all that stuff, it's like those are little chip damage things. Add Star Fox in there. Like, I don't know if it's that. I mean, it's dead. I know it's dead, but like I don't think it's a good type of dead. Like, I think the people that like it are gonna like it. Like, it's like Vita. You guys love the Vita, but
Yep.
and
Well,
there's
Vita's
so many
way more
games
dead
for
than the
it.
Wii U is.
But it's like, there is games coming out
Sure.
for it. Like, to say it doesn't have games, it's just not true.
Sure.
You know, especially good games. Like, these are all going to be good games.
You
Maybe
hope.
not
Well,
amazing.
presumably.
Yeah, like I don't think like any of them are going to be perfect, but I think that they're going to be pretty damn good.
Zelda will be perfect.
We'll see.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Twilight Princess wasn't so perfect, was it?
Yeah, that's why they learned.
Yeah.
They learned.
All right. Well, guys, this topic has been sponsored by Loot Crate. For less than $20 a month, you get 6 to 8 items of gamer and pop culture licensed gear, apparel, collectibles, unique one-of-a-kind items, and more. Make sure to head to lootcrate.com/kindoffunnygames and enter code kindoffunnygames to save $3 on any new subscription. Loot Crate's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
You get them, and you open it, you get all the cool stuff. What I like about it is that, we talk about Loot Crate a lot. I feel like we've, pushed them a lot. I support them.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
I
cool.
actually like them, and they're cool. And last month, I keep bringing this up, they had the Power Ranger shirt. And I really like that shirt. It was half Green Ranger, half White Ranger. It's great. This month, the theme is cyber. It's a cyber revolution with an assortment of cool, tech-themed collectibles from a wide array of awesome franchises like Terminator Genesis, Borderlands 2, a whole bunch of other stuff. It's really great. They give you stuff in 13 different countries. So,
Konnichiwa.
doesn't matter where you live, you can get this. And you have until the 19th at 9 p.m. Pacific to subscribe to get that month's crate. And that's going to be great. So go to lootcrate.com/kindoffunnygames, enter code kindoffunnygames to save $3 on your new subscription. Thank you guys so much for supporting us.
Thank you, Lou Great.
And we love everybody. All right. We're moving on to the final topic of the day. E3 predictions for third parties.
All right.
You go, Colin.
At the Square Enix conference, Dragon Quest XI will be revealed as a next-gen only game and a proper role-playing game, a proper JRPG, as opposed to the MMO that Dragon Quest X was, or the Musou Omega Force type game that Dragon Quest Heroes is. I think I don't think that's a safe bet, but that seems like it's not that extraordinary considering that they haven't had much to say about core Dragon Quest in a long time. And Square Enix having their own conference indicates that they have something to say. And while I think they have something to say about Final Fantasy 15, I think they have something to say about, Kingdom Hearts 3. Not so sure that that's going to be enough to justify the conference. And so there has to be more. And a Japanese-centric game like Dragon Quest might be unusual to announce at E3, but they want to globalize that franchise clearly. So,
I mean, do you think they're going to talk about like their other the Just Cause 3 and Hitman and all that stuff? Like, I think that kind of rounds it all out, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I don't disagree, but they have to. Square Enix is still a Japanese company, and they have to say something about the games that are being made, at home, other than what's been announced.
Cool.
That's the Square Enix conference. They announced Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming in 2016.
Oh wow, that's bold. That's bold.
We're basing that on Goofy.
Does Goofy come out and do it?
No, Goofy.
What does he usually say?
Well,
you motherfucker.
yeah, it was supposed to be, oh guys, fuck you. I told you it was going to be 2015. But he's wrong. 2016 is when's coming.
Okay. At the Bethesda conference, Dishonored 2 is real and it is revealed. Although they do not give a release date, they'll show a trailer and they'll show gameplay. Again, this is Bethesda wouldn't have a conference without showing Fallout, obviously, and they're obviously going to show Doom, but there must be more, and that third pillar has to be Dishonored, or it's something we have no idea what it is. But I think that Dishonored 2 is a safe bet. People like that game. People like that world. It's an interesting game, certainly. So it's time to reveal more. But I think that the order of operations in terms of release dates will be Fallout, Doom, and then Dishonored. But I think Dishonored will be at the end of the show.
At the EA conference, it's announced Mass Effect 4 comes in 2016. The collection of the 3 previous games in the holiday.
Are you writing these as you go? What are you doing?
I'm deleting something
Oh, okay.
to make sure I have my notes correct.
That's an interesting. So Mass Effect 4 2016, Mass Effect Trilogy before it comes out.
Yeah, you're getting the Mass Effect trilogy this year, this holiday,
year, okay.
2015 holiday.
PS4, Xbox One, PC.
Exactly. Okay. Mass Effect 4 next year, 2016.
Okay.
Probably same holiday time period.
Okay. I'm gonna go back to Bethesda for one more guess, and it's similar to one of the ones Greg made. Doom is shown for about 15 or 20 minutes. I'm very excited about Doom 4, and they announced that the beta is live now for people that have that bought Wolfenstein. Yeah.
Okay. At the Ubisoft conference, the best trailer shown is a Ubi Art Engine game, similar to your Valiant Hearts when that got displayed.
But what can qualify that as the best? What you said, the best?
Greg Miller, will say that is the best trailer.
But that's
my prediction.
I'm going to allow it, but that's a little much for me, Greg.
Okay,
that's a little much for me.
Have it your way.
At Ubisoft's conference, Watch Dogs 2 is revealed. They talk about it. They probably show a trailer. They speak about it. Maybe Yves Guillemot comes out himself and talks about it. No release date given. Target platforms, obviously PS4, Xbox One, and PC. They're not going to do last-gen versions like they did with Watch Dogs. And they're just going to show it to show that they're trying to annualize it. Presumably, this will be out by fall 2016, but I don't know that they will go that deep into it. But Watch Dogs 2 will have a presence at this show.
That was one of mine.
It's a good one.
It is. I think it's a safe bet. I think this third-party category is the one right now that's going to win it for Colin, because I think he's making a lot of really, really strong calls. The fifth one I had, I'll try to think of one on the fly, but I'm not good at it like you are, was that Bethesda won't show the Fallout collection like we were talking about.
Okay.
Might hint at a Skyrim collection. Hint, not show.
My final guess is that at the EA conference, there will be a second Star Wars game. It will be tied into the movie, and it will come out this fall. So they will have 2 Star Wars games.
This is not the Visceral one?
No. Visceral's game is probably something else. This will be more of like a kind of almost like a throwaway game, like one of Activision Spider-Man games. But it will be, they'll announce it and they'll say like, we have a movie, like an episode 7 tie-in game. And then we have Battlefront, and they're 2 separate games, and they both come out this fall. And the reason that they're going to talk about this late and that they're going to do it as after is it's probably not going to be very good.
Yeah.
But it seems like a wasted opportunity and almost impossible to fathom that they are not going to have an episode 7 game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you kind of have to announce it soon.
I hope it's at least as good as the episode 1 game on PS1.
I never played that, and I'm sure
it was not good, but I played the shit out of it.
So I think that's my bet for the EA conference is that they'll show Battlefront, they'll talk about it a great deal, with like we also have an episode 7 thing from this studio. Here's a look at it, comes out later, like maybe early. Maybe they don't even put a date on it, but maybe it's like a December or a November game. Like just you have to get something out for the kids.
Yeah.
Battlefront's not a game. Look at it this way: Battlefront's a very online-centric game. This is not a game for kids, right? Kids are going to play it, teens are going to play it, but what is mom and dad going to go into the store and buy? If they look in the back of the box and they're like, it's an online-only game, you got to have a functionality. I don't even fucking have the internet. This is something where I think it'll be a PS3, Xbox 360, PS4, Xbox One game,
everywhere.
and just put it everywhere.
Wii U.
Yeah, Wii U, maybe even Wii.
Yeah, my God.
So it's like, I think that game exists. I've been saying that for a while.
Sure.
And I think that game exists, but it is not Visceral's game.
Trying to come up with one that isn't totally stupid. Because I want to say there'll be another Luminous game, but I don't want to predict that. I don't want to put that on the record.
Give us a little Capcom prediction.
They do a bunch of shit nobody gives a care about.
Okay.
No,
We're talking about the studios we're talking about publishers with conferences specifically, though, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I don't know.
That was my
that's what I assumed too. Yeah.
Okay.
We can talk about it. I mean, talk about whatever you want. I don't really have any Capcom guesses.
I'll throw it out there, and I don't think it's true, but I'm throwing it out there. Rainbow Six gets delayed. Maybe not super far, but out of that October 13th.
It does seem weird that game's coming out so soon.
And I haven't. I mean, there's been betas, sure, but like public giant things, I haven't seen much with it.
For something that they threw out only last year,
Yep.
a year ago, it seems, for Ubisoft cycle specifically, it seems very sudden that you'd show a game like The Division over and over again, and then you'd show Rainbow Six out of nowhere, say it's like very, like, they didn't say it's early, but the assumption was that it was early, and then it's coming out before The Division.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't understand.
I would imagine, if anything, it's just, it has a hard date. And did The Division ever have a hard date?
No.
So I think I think it's going to slide like a month. You know what I mean?
So still this year.
Yeah, but don't get me wrong, I think they need more time than that. I think the developers would like more time than that in this prediction world I'm living in.
Well,
but I don't think it's going to go that far back.
I think
but
that
my prediction is just that it's delayed. So if it gets delayed a year and a half, I still win.
unrelated prediction, because I've been saying for a long time that Fallout 4 will come out this year. And we didn't talk about Fallout 4 at all because it's so obvious now that it's going to be, shown at the show and that it'll be, I still think it's coming out this year. When that's fully revealed, everyone's going to be running away screaming from that period.
point.
So whether
Good
or not the game is ready or not, I think you're going to see that this will be the summer of delay announcements, like you've probably never seen in your life. If Fallout 4 is really coming out in November, the only people that are ever going to want to go head to head with it is Call of Duty.
Right.
So, and Halo. Other than that, like, if your game's coming out in October, November, you better get the fuck out of there. Like, go be in January or February, and you're much better off, or even later than that.
Konnichiwa.
So, I think you're right, but I don't know if it's going to have anything to do with. I think you're going to see a lot of delays that have nothing to do with the status of the game, and you're going to see some delays that have to do with like getting the fuck out of Fallout 4's way.
Sure.
Because Fallout 4 is not only a game that's going to sell millions and millions of copies, it's a game that's going to take people out of the game.
For hours and hours and hours.
For months.
Yeah.
Like normal people. Like, just for months. They're
Yeah.
not going to buy a fucking goddamn thing. So, that game's going to be a backbreaker for others. And anyone that tries to go against Fallout 4 is going to lose. With the exception of, like, the big guys.
And Luminous.
And Luminous.
Yeah, we can only hope for Luminous. All right, guys, I'm going to ask you a couple questions. Now, these are third parties, not just the conference ones, just third parties in general. Some of them are conference ones. Ubisoft. They're going to talk about Assassin's Creed Syndicate, Rainbow Six Siege, and The Division. Is there a surprise? And of the surprises, do you think Beyond Good and Evil 2?
Maybe. They did say that Yves Guillemot did say that they're going to announce a few games. So whether or not you're surprised by them, I guess, is up to the eye of the beholder. Beyond Good and Evil 2 seems like a safe bet because that has been rumored for so long. But I just don't think that anyone, like, I don't want to say anyone, that seems like a weird game to make.
Ubisoft's weird.
They are, but
Sure.
Beyond Good and Evil came out like 11 or 12 years ago now. So I had it and I liked it. I had it on Xbox, actually. But is now really the time to go back to that? They seem a little more shrewd than that. They have their art house, like their games that don't seem to cost much money that are great, like Child of Light and Valiant Hearts, and I think we'll see a game like that. But Beyond Good and Evil Beyond Good and Evil seems an A style game, not a AAA game, but an A style game, and that's going to cost money, and I don't know that they're necessarily going to get their return on it. Mm-hmm. As much as people talk, we're in an echo chamber. Like, Beyond Good and Evil has zero resonance with the normal gaming audience, and if you're going to spend more than a few $1 million on that game, you better be ready to lose money on it. So I don't know that is a smart move for Ubisoft. As much as I enjoyed that game, I just don't see that being a smart move.
You know what I think I could see happening? And I wish I'd put it in as prediction. South Park. Something South Park related. Either the re-release, here it is on next gen, or a from the franchise that sold blah 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 1 million copies on PlayStation 3 and Xbox, and then it's just a fart noise and Kenny and blah blah just yelling over a black screen South Park something PS4.
Oh my god, I would a
Xbox
new
One.
one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But that is super hard.
Yeah.
to believe.
I don't think
That's
that's
good,
going to
that's
happen
good.
because it seemed like we've talked about before. It was
Yeah,
like a
they wanted to kill
soul-breaking.
themselves.
Yeah, it didn't seem like they wanted to really do it after a while. It's
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah,
You think we'll see a new Rayman?
probably just stop making them.
Maybe I think they're an annual. Ubisoft's all about annualizing, and they're actually the only studio that's actually very open about it. Which
Bullshit. Activision's super open about it.
No, and them saying like they're Activision does it. Ubisoft says like we aren't interested in pursuing anything that doesn't allow us to do this.
Activision was the first people to say that. That's why they didn't take Ghostbusters, because it wasn't an annualizable franchise.
Yeah, that's fair, but I'm saying that I don't really see Bobby Kotick giving a lot of speeches, to be frank, Greg, like saying like, you know, being a little more like Yves Guillemot's like kind of a dude that just says things. I don't
Sure, we'll
really
stop
feel like-
making Assassin's Creed when you stop buying them.
Yeah, it's kind of more what I mean. So I would be curious about how Rayman sold from Origins to Legends, and I think that's going to be contingent on the decisions they make. My opinion is no. I don't think that Rayman's, you know, big. I think you take that engine, you take those artists, those talented people, and make one-offs that give you credibility.
Yeah.
I think that Ubisoft still has a lot of credibility because Child of Light, because of Valiant Hearts. These are games that publishers wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole, and like, even if they broke even, and I don't think they broke even, I think they actually probably made money on those games. That gives them that sets the Ubisofts apart from the EAs and the Activisions. Frankly, Activision would never fucking publish a game like Child of Light ever, and they would never let one of their studios make a game like Child of Light. So those are things to keep in mind. So I think it's smarter to take those assets and use them in more unique ways than making another Rayman game. That will be there when they're ready. Rayman is the OG Ubisoft IP, and they're not gonna walk away from that.
Real question: are we gonna get some more Rabbids this year? Oh yeah, let's get them back
Minions,
in it.
they've taken over. It's done.
When we get some new bullshit devices like I don't know Morpheus, you'll get a Rabbids game.
Okay.
Ubisoft will be all
They'll
over
be
some
back.
goddamn
Yeah.
Rabbids game.
Do you think we'll get a tease at a Splinter Cell reboot?
No, I don't feel like.
Last one made no waves, right?
Yeah, I just don't feel like Splinter Cell. I mean, just anecdotally, I don't feel like the last Splinter Cell was a thing that anyone
Which one was the last one?
really cared about.
Hardwired?
There wasn't there one that wasn't it the first one that wasn't an Xbox exclusive? I'm not mistaken. They released a collection.
Wow, there
on
was
all
one
of them.
not too long ago.
Yeah, like they were all Xbox exclusives. Then they re-released all the HD ones,
Blacklist.
and then they released I think maybe Blacklist or I don't know one of these games. I don't follow the franchise. I haven't in a long time, but it seems like something that's kind of. You have your Tom Clancy games. You have 2 of them, coming out.
Yeah.
So like, why have
Yeah.
why fuck around with something that's just gonna again muddle the message.
I'm hoping for a Prince of Persia reboot that I'll never get.
A sequel to the Nolan North game. The 2008
2008 one?
Yeah.
I'd be okay with that. That was good.
Yeah. Game gets a bad rap except
Yeah.
for its bullshit ending.
Yeah, exactly. But let's see. What else we got here? Mirror's Edge 2. We going to see it?
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Activision. They'll talk about Destiny, Black Ops 3, obviously. Tony Hawk. I'm excited for this.
Sure.
Not much to say there. Capcom. So Street Fighter 5, they'll show off in some form. Will there be a Mega Man?
I'm starting to think that yes. I'm starting to
And
think
where will it be shown?
I don't know that they're going to show it at any of the conferences. I think that announcement of that cartoon today is
So random.
it doesn't make any sense unless there's a game. It doesn't make any sense. Like when I saw that this morning, I was like, oh, whatever. And then it came to me like 10 seconds later. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, why are they doing this? It's not like they're doing like a miniseries. There's 26 episodes on TV. It's not something they're doing like on the internet.
Yeah, they're committed to it.
So I'm like, no, they're making a game, and I really do think they're rebooting Mega Man. I don't think that it's going to be Mega Man 11. I don't think it's going to be a Mega Man X game. I think it's going to be called Mega Man, and I think it's going to be
That's exciting,
and I
man.
think it's going to be a whole new thing. And like I said on Colin and Greg Live today, I know I'm a Mega Man nerd, and I know I'm more excited about this than most people, but there is a story there, that has never been told before. There's 2 outstanding stories that have never been told in Mega Man lore before. The first is the origins of Light and Wily and how they conflicted with each other and how Wily reprogrammed those robots, and that's Mega Man 1. And I hope that that's the story. But there's also the connectivity between the classic series and the X series and how Light dies. Before he dies, he sets all of these beacons out there, as you'd see in X where you find them, and he in Mega Man, it's 100 years separated. Dr. Kane is the archaeologist that finds all of Light's kind of capsules and builds Mega Man X as like a protection against the future. That story can be told too, because for Mega Man fans, there's a missing link, like in Evolution. There's a missing link between the classic series and the X series, and that is a game that has to take place somewhere in there. And so that could be that too, but I think that that's too meta to be a game that will encourage a cartoon to be made. Capcom, I feel, is making a Mega Man game, and it is making a AAA Mega Man game. And that is the only thing that can explain that fucking cartoon. It doesn't make sense, you know? Mega Man's dead.
I mean, that's the thing. The only reason that the cartoon makes any sense without a video game is the fact that recently the only place Mega Man's been alive has been the comics. And it's been that comic crossover series with Sonic. The Sonic comics do very well. Sonic has this stupid TV show that I take that back. I've never seen it, so I can't really like criticize it. Sonic Boom. From what I hear, the TV show is actually a lot better than the game. I really hope so, because that game is bad, and we have played it. We can say that.
Oh yeah, it's not very good.
But you know, so Mega Man getting a TV show is super random, but I don't think he necessarily needs a game in order for the TV show to happen. I would be shocked if there is no game to go along with it, though.
Yeah, I think all signs point to it. Remember, when Inafune left Capcom, they burned all of their bridges with him. They canceled all of the games he had his hands on. So they canceled Legends 3, which was egregious to a lot of people. I didn't really give a fuck, but they canceled Legends 3, and then they canceled... The biggest thing to me was they canceled Mega Man Universe, which was done. You know? Like, they just never even released it. The game was basically an alpha at that point. So, and people like Clements, as we talked about many times, I'm sure people are tired of hearing, he played it. You know, so that game was on its way, and they pulled the plug. And what I think that they were doing at that time was saying, like, listen, like, the visionary behind this series is gone, and we will not have his assistance anymore. So we need to kind of just step back and figure out what we can do with Mega Man. And the most logical thing for Capcom to do is to give a good studio lots of money to make Mega Man a thing again. Because for as much as I love Mega Man, and for as much many Mega Man fans as there are out there are over 100 Mega Man games, and yet Mega Man has only sold 30 million copies. So it's not like it's this mega fucking 5-10 million franchise where it's like out of control, but they can make it that. Mm-hmm. They can make, and the thing about Capcom and the brilliant shrewd move, and I've been using that word a lot, but the brilliant move here is get the new generation attached to Mega Man with a new game that makes sense to them, and watch the money pour in as they go and explore the fucking dozens of games that came before it. You know what I mean? This is a money-making move. Mm-hmm. This is a smart move to set a solid foundation. As much as I like Innie Creates to make Mega Man 11, as much as I'd love to make Mega Man X9, they're not going to do it. You know, that's done and over with. So when I saw that cartoon news today, and I was thinking about it, it's the 30th anniversary of Mega Man in 2017 too, which is when the cartoon's ready. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, it's time. Like, there's a game.
Here's my thing. I don't believe it that there'll be a new AAA Mega Man, like in open world and stuff like you talked about on the show. If it is happening, the game you're describing is being made by Capcom Vancouver, the Dead Rising folks. You know what I mean? Finally get them off Dead Rising. They've already shown a love and appreciation for all things Mega Man, Capcom, everything else. They put it in there, the blaster, they have it. Like, they know how to do cool weapons and goofy ass shit like that in open worlds for sure, right? But it's just to me that, like, I think Mega Man's too hung up on history. It was like, for rebooting Mega Man at this point, I feel like it's rebooting when they rebooted Bomberman. Remember when they did that and that game came out? It was just like, oh, like, what are you doing? It's a terrible idea, and it wasn't a good... I just don't think there's a way to reinvent Mega Man after 30 years of him being the one guy. I think that if they're doing a new Mega Man game, I think it's another 8-bit side-scroller.
I think there is, though, because, you know, Mega Man's many different things to different people. Like, sure. I feel like my generation, like my age group at least, Mega Man to them is like the Battle Network games on the GBA, which is totally different than those games, you know. And then there's the people that love Legends that I think those are a couple years older than me. And then there's the guys a couple years older than that, like you, that are OG, you know. But everyone has their own generation of Mega Man. I think Mega Man is one of the few franchises that has... It's kind of like Mario, where it's kind of unfair to hate on Mario games because there's so many different types of Mario games. And just because Mario's in the title, it's not one thing. But
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think you're right in this sense, but what's frustrating to me, you have to find, like any other game, like any other project, you have to find the right people, right? And in my head, I'm telling you, I could write that game. You know what I mean?
Capcom, get him a fucking check.
Like, and I'm not, you know, I'm just like, I could produce, I could help produce a game like that.
Yeah.
I could I don't know how to produce a game literally, but like to be so let me step back. Like, I'm not a producer, but I could be like, I could look at things and be like, this is what you need to do, and it needs to look like this, and this is the story, and these are the characters, and this is the world that you have to... Like, I know Mega Man so well that I am 100% confident I could deliver a game like that, like with the right people around me, that Mega Man fans would like. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because it is a very dangerous thing to do, but you know what? So is Mega Man Legends, and people liked that game. So the difference between Battle Network and Star Force and Legends and X and Classic, which are the 5 franchises, Mega Man franchises, is that they're all separate with the exception of Classic and X, which have a missing link between them, but they are connected. You know?
Yeah.
So like when you make a game like Legends, which is 3D, it's like, well, it's not the same Mega Man. It's Mega Man Volnut, and it's like a totally different story, right? But the dangerous thing for Mega Man fans is to say, like, no, this is classic Mega Man. This is Mega Man 1 again. And that's the dangerous thing, and that's why you have to get it right if you're going to do something like that. I don't want them to cop out and make another Mega Man. You know what I mean? Like a 6th Mega Man, like franchise or thread.
Sure.
And as much as I'd love 11 or X9, and I would love that anytime, that's not the answer to make Mega Man relevant again. They have this thing, they have this franchise that they just sit on that they shouldn't be sitting on anymore. It's interesting. Capcom Vancouver connection is interesting because they do have open world experience. I'm not so sure that I would want, no offense to those guys, no offense to Dead Rising, I'd want something way better than Dead Rising. So
I understand.
You know, so
I'm
it's not, it needs to move differently. It needs to be fast. It needs to be quick. It needs to be stylish. But that game could be made. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
And it would be such a smart move to get these young kids hooked on Mega Man the way they're hooked on Mario or Sonic, and they just have this fucking huge back catalog of shit to buy. Oh my god! And the 10-year-old kid that plays the new Mega Man in 2017, and then he's like, "Where did this come from?" And his dad's like, "I used to play Mega Man when I was a kid." And they sit down on Virtual Console and they buy the 6 Mega Man games and play them. There's money for days for Capcom if they do it right. But they could fuck everything up. If they fuck that game up, it's over.
Yeah.
Like Mega Man's basically done at that point. Mega Man basically becomes a legacy character, which is as far as I feel, Sonic is a legacy character now. There's no making him relevant in the game space. They made him relevant in comics, they made him relevant in cartoons, but they fucked the games up so badly that I don't think anyone has any expectations anymore. And you don't want to get Mega Man to that point. So do it right or don't do it at all. But I think it's happening.
All right.
Yeah.
Last couple games to just get through here. Resident Evil 7. Anything.
There will be no Resident Evil 7. There will be a Resident Evil reboot.
You think?
Yep. I don't think it's happening here.
Okay.
I don't think it's happening
I
at
would love a
E3.
Resident
But I'm
Evil
saying
reboot.
the next time you hear about the next big Resident Evil, new Resident Evil, it's Resident
just
Evil
gonna
from
be-
the ground up again.
What I would love to see with that, and this would be crazy because of the way things I think ended with, you know, Miyazaki and Mikami and Capcom. It would be funny with the success of The Evil Within, which did way better than Bethesda did. And I'm sure Bethesda's already probably working on the sequel with Tango Works or whatever the fuck made that game. Is that to get him back. And to not do a reboot, but to be like, Resident Evil 7 is going to be a Mikami game. And if you just said that, like 5 was so disappointing. I didn't even bother with 6. I was like, I can't fucking. When I played 5, I was like, this game, what the fuck is this? Like I said before, I shot more people in 5 minutes in that game than I shot in like all of Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
Because it's not a Resident Evil game. So they need to get back to their core. And The Evil Within, I think, if Capcom's smart, they paid attention and they were like, well, Bethesda took the risk and they actually put a lot of money and time into that game, way more than they thought they were going to, and it paid off. So maybe that's what we need to do. And that's a totally new IP. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
We have Resident Evil. We have Biohazard. It's a no-brainer to do that. I'm not so sure they'd remake it again because they just released the remake. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm talking about they're
reboot.
blowing up the universe. It's a reboot.
Totally reboot.
Oh,
start
so
from
just
the
start from the
ground
beginning.
up.
Oh,
Right,
okay.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
I like
Okay.
that. I feel like that's the best choice for them to make.
I like that. Yeah, that would be nice.
No
At some
Man's
point
Sky.
I'm sorry.
What about you? I'm sorry. What?
What's going on at E3 with No Man's Sky?
They'll show it.
Oh, they're gonna show it. Yeah, and it's gonna be on track and coming out.
That's it?
Yeah.
No release date, no release window.
There's a lot of murmuring that game's coming out this year. I don't understand how that game can be ready. But my assumption with that, and I don't know if Greg agrees, is that Sony is treating it, and they've said it as much. Andrew House gave a speech saying like they're treating it like they made it. They're treating it like a first-party game. And my assumption is that Hello Games is so small and so mildly funded that Sony might be just helping them with the game at this point. You know?
Giving them people to go make
Yeah,
new
like
planets
they might
and
just
get
send people to
everything.
go and be like, we'll help. We're just going to help you finish the game now. But that kind of involvement with Sony would mean that was a true exclusive, and I don't think that it is. So I don't quite understand, because Sony wouldn't do that and then let Microsoft have it in a year. That would be it for them. They would publish it. That game's interesting because it's so ambitious. I don't understand how that game can even be ready next year based on like what it's supposed to be, which makes me kind of wonder with that game if that game is actually going to be disappointing. And I don't know the answer.
Yeah.
There's a lot of questions with a game like that because it's so ambitious, it's so different. But there's a lot of murmuring. They're saying like it's out this year, and I don't know how that's possible. But
Couple more. Guitar Hero and Rock Band are either at one of the conferences.
No.
no, but they'll be on the floor. I don't think that I don't think it makes sense to give them conference. Conference time is precious, and I don't think you to give it.
I mean, EA has their own conference, right? So they would just do something.
Oh yeah, well EA, yeah, that's true.
So Rock Band's taken care of. Don't worry about it. And then Guitar Hero will be everywhere.
Yeah. Then the big question: Silent Hills. Anything?
No.
No,
Okay.
I do believe that game's dead. Again, the original rumors sounded plausible and could be plausible in the sense that Konami might be interested in talking to a first party to get the game out, like Microsoft. Microsoft might be interested tangentially in doing that. Maybe Konami pulls the PT demo down from PlayStation Network as a sign of good faith, as the rumor suggested. But everything else about that rumor made no sense. You know, and we talked about this pretty extensively on Colin and Greg Live, but billions of dollars.
Well, what if that part's not true though? Take the billions out of it.
But why? Like, but you have to when there's something so suspect in a rumor like that, everything becomes suspect. You know what I mean? Because that is an incredibly ridiculous statement. You know, as an example, Star Wars was purchased by Marvel or by Disney for $4 billion, and Silent Hill, which has sold about 10 million units a lifetime in its entire franchise. It's an absurd.
Yeah,
it's an
it doesn't make
absurd
sense.
number.
Get the fuck
that
outta
kind of
here.
thing when I saw that I was like, no, like maybe it's true, but why even say something like that? And then the whole 80% done thing doesn't make any sense either. When Norman Reedus in December or January was like, we haven't even done mocap yet, you know, and which is like one of the first things you do. And they made their vertical slice clearly, and then they thought they would have time and get hype behind it to finish it. Kojima's been working on Metal Gear. There's all these things that don't make any sense. It's the same thing we run into the problem with Final Fantasy 15 and Kingdom Hearts 3 and why they both can't be done at the same time because the leadership on one is working on the other. So at some point they have to transition, but you only transition when one game's done or when you're comfortable one game has gone to gold or whatever, then you move on to the other game. So everything about it doesn't make any sense. And Guillermo del Toro talking about how the game was like just never became a thing and it's just like there's all these things that don't make any sense. So it doesn't make... To make
No,
yeah.
it won't be there. It will not be
Okay,
there.
final question, the most important question. In any way, shape, or form, will we see Crash Bandicoot?
No.
No. You will
hate
see
everything.
Brash Candy.
Brash Candipoot?
Yeah.
He's making his debut.
He's finally coming
E3
out.
2015. I've been waiting for it.
Yeah.
It's going to be good.
It's gonna be great.
It's going to be real good.
Real
Ladies
good.
and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us for our predictions of E3 2015. I really enjoyed this.
That
This was
a good one.
fun.
Yeah, it was a good show.
This was a good little thing. I don't know if I had to bet on which one of you won,
Colin.
I'm probably gonna go with Colin.
I
on this.
understand.
But that's just because he had his notebook all day. He was like thinking. We'd be like eating lunch, and he would just stop what he's doing, run over in the corner, pull his glasses down to the little.
Yeah. Yeah. He's good at this. He didn't get his own hashtag about it for no reason.
Yeah, Colin was right.
We'll see. If I'm right about 20% of this, that'll be pretty good.
It will be
That's
good.
actually a pretty good number for E3 predictions in which anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
Closing thoughts. I'm excited for this E3. I think this is going to be one of the best E3s we've had in the last couple of years. I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so too.
You don't agree?
I think it's gonna be a fine E3.
I don't know.
I
man.
don't
Like,
think it's. I don't know. Right now, coming into it, I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be fun. I don't see a lot of surprises.
just hearing you guys talk about a lot of this stuff got me excited. It got me interested, and I want to see what ends up happening out of all of that. And that's good because the last couple of years, I've been kind of like, whatever. But alas, we shall see. This has been episode 23 of the Kind of Funny Gamescast.
Michael Jordan.
Leave your predictions in the comments. I definitely want, or on the forums at kindoffunny.com/forums. Sign up there. There's a great, thriving community that you can become a part of and talk to all your new friends, and it's great. I'm in there. He's in there. He's in there. Nick will probably be in there every once in a while, too. Thank you.